Hello and welcome to the Nightcap. It's life behind the Michelin star here, a late night lock-in where we candidly discuss and debate all things culinary over a few drinks. As always, we are sat upstairs at Salt Restaurant in Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare's home in the heart of Warwickshire. It's bang on 10 o'clock at night, service is wrapping up downstairs, so let me introduce myself and what we're all doing here. I'm Simon Alexander, I'm a podcaster, producer and daytime cooking show contestant. To my left, playing host, Michelin Starred Head Chef and owner of Salt, Mr. Paul Foster.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. And our guest today is Michelin Star Head Chef Mr. Lee Westcott. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well fed.
I was actually... Oh, yeah. Well, let's start there. How was dinner? Was it
Oh, it was fantastic. More than pleasurable.
Oh, excellent.
Absolutely delicious.
Good. No, it's nice to have you up.
First time here?
It's probably. I think it's the first time I've properly ate your food.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were in Mexico together, and I think I
was way too
half
drunk.
Ate your food.
I was too drunk cooking it.
Yeah, I don't know if I properly ate it or not. I don't know. But yeah, it was the first time I properly ate your food. Delicious.
And first time up here to Salt and to Stratford, or is it?
Yeah, well, it's funny because obviously Pensons is not that far from
Herefordshire, right?
Yeah, so like the journey's quite sort of well known to me.
Similar from London to here.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But luckily I got off before there and we're all
Nice.
and I came here.
Lovely stuff. Okay, well, this is what we're going to be coming up on today's podcast. We're going to be talking a bit about staffing issues and the sort of new look demands of staff in the kitchen. We'll be talking about the aforementioned Mexico trip where you guys spent time together. Was it the first time you met? Was on the trip? Or
It would have been,
Was it? I believe so.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get stuck into that.
Can't remember a lot of it, can we? But
I think we got looked after quite well that trip, didn't we?
Yeah.
That'll be a very quick 2 minutes then.
How was Mexico? It was bloody great. Yeah. Don't remember much.
We'll also be talking to Lee about his projects for 2022. And as always, we'll be taking some of your questions sent to us via the Nightcap Twitter and Instagram pages. We'll do Boiling Point, Cowboy stories and cooking hacks too. First, before we get into all of that, this is a Nightcap. We are once again for Series 4 opening a beautiful bottle every episode of Gusbourne's finest award-winning English sparkling wine. You can visit their website now, gusbourne.com, see which of their very special vintage releases you might like to purchase and enjoy at home. Free UK mainland delivery, no minimum required. Paul, what we got today, bud?
we're back on the Blanc de Blanc, so 2016 Blanc de Blanc.
I think this
Classic
might be my favourite.
I mean, it is one of my favourites. I mean, they've had such a good run during COVID. Because they never used to sell their still wines online. So they put during COVID their Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and they've just sold out. We ain't got any in the restaurant. I've got a few at home tucked away.
Sort of good problem to have. Of
course you have.
Yeah, of course you have.
Just restaurant's got none. I've got loads.
When I saw there was one left in the restaurant, I thought I'll take that. Save it for a rainy day.
So yeah, it's never a shame having the Blanc de Blanc.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, mate.
That's good. Are you familiar with Gusbourne's? Have you come across them before?
I've actually worked with them recently.
Have you?
I did a little residency in Sloane Square, and it was I think it was partly sponsored by them actually. So
Yeah, they do a lot of good events now, don't they?
Yeah, they're involved in a lot of good stuff. Yeah, it's the first one. It's probably the first time I actually tasted their wine before. Actually,
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff.
it's really nice. Yeah.
That is a good one for Christmas, right? Fatty foods.
Yeah,
Always
definitely.
the best one.
Yeah.
Love it.
Or just while you're cooking. I'll probably have a bottle whilst I'm cooking Christmas Day. Yeah.
Just to get you through it.
Yeah, none of that Bucks Fizz, none of that orange juice.
Oh,
in
no.
there. Like, why would you
Bucks
do
Fizz is
that?
great, man.
Do you like it?
That's awful. My mum fucking loves it.
Yeah. I swear all mums love Bucks Fizz.
But what's worse than adding
Don't get me wrong, when
juice?
someone offers you a Bucks Fizz at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, and I'm really hungry, I'm like, please give me a Bucks Fizz.
Yeah.
Any alcohol.
But that's
please.
sugar
Pre-mixed
and
Bucks Fizz,
alcohol.
Or are you getting
The
some...
pre-mix is a bit wrong, isn't it?
No, to be fair, it's
drink
not pre-mixed. No, this is proper homemade stuff.
Proper homemade,
Yeah, proper
yeah.
shit stuff. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not too... So what is champagne? Is it traditionally champagne and orange juice?
Well,
is that an actual...
I think
What is it?
Prosecco in my household, yeah.
I think it's whatever's knocking about.
Yeah.
Some double concentrate.
Anything that's got fizz
Orange
left
juice,
in it,
yeah.
chuck it in, mate.
Love it. Okay, awesome. Let's get stuck into the first one then. We talked a bit about staffing issues over sort of the course of various podcasts, but it's obviously a very sort of different proposition right now. It's currently December 2021 when we're recording this. Let's get the sort of elephant in the room out of the way. It's been a fucking nightmare for everyone, hasn't it?
So we're talking about COVID.
No, staffing issues in
Staffing
general.
after it and how people have changed.
I mean, I don't actually have a restaurant. I haven't had a restaurant for 2 years, but I genuinely feel for people that do.
Yeah.
Because you've had to pivot in ways that you've never even probably dreamed of.
Yeah, and in this industry, we're used to adapting anyway. You have to adapt all the time. But this was another level of adapting that it just wasn't really that happy with.
Like, not too anticipated in a way, I don't think.
No, not at all.
Like, don't get me wrong. These like the home boxes. What a way to get through things, right?
Yeah.
And you're giving a product to someone that like wouldn't be able to get what they, It's not really what you want to be doing, though, is it?
No, it's not.
You don't want to be doing
boxes.
Let's
for us, it didn't keep the wolf away from the door, really.
Really?
Not really, not financially, no. It allowed me to get some staff back and top up some wage, so a bit of furlough, a bit of wage, so they were earning a better wage. It allowed that, and then what it did, it kept us active on social media, because the first lockdown we didn't do any. People thought we'd closed for 5 months, thought we were done. But that just give us something to just tweet about, put on Instagram.
It's content.
Yeah, of course. You got to keep yourself relevant, right? And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a fickle market.
And also, you got to keep your business going.
Yeah, keep the
That's
business
the main
going.
thing first and
keep yourself
foremost,
sane. Yeah.
Without dwelling on all the shit that's happened over the last year too much, like where does it sort of? Because we've talked a lot about how it's been an ever like the hours have changed, the days open that restaurants traditionally now do changed loads. So going forward, what is the
chefs are thinking differently. I mean, you must be as well. Your life's changed massively.
It's funny because tell you what's funny. I won a star just before COVID.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Probably the worst time, in my opinion, to ever win a star.
Do you think? If there is one, yeah.
Because you can't kind of like, I hate this word, monopolise on it in a way.
Yeah, you can't capitalise on it.
You can't like, if I had a restaurant, okay, so I left the restaurant, it's my decision, but I left the restaurant and I didn't even know about, COVID wasn't even a word, I didn't even know that word existed.
Yeah, so this would have been October 2019 then?
Yeah, so
and you've been at Penson's, what, 7 months or something like that?
No, I was actually there just under a year and a half, but we won the star within 7 months.
Wow, insane.
And then I already knew that I was going to leave before we won the star, so I made that decision beforehand. That was already a decision made.
Yeah.
So I continued with that decision and left. Come back to London, had lots of projects on the go.
Yeah.
COVID. What the fuck's COVID?
Yeah.
It's this virus. What do you mean it's a virus? It's like the flu. Like, oh, go away.
We all thought
it would piss off in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
still fucking here in 2 years, right?
The 3-week curve, that's still going on.
Oh, mate, honestly, like we all had to pivot in different ways. So, yeah, sorry, back to the question that you asked. It has changed mindsets. It's changed my mindset for sure.
Has it?
Yeah, I just think. I think we've all reflected a lot during COVID. We've had time to reflect on what we want out of our professional life, our personal life, how that balance works out during your working hours, because obviously chefs work a lot of hours.
Well, that's it, but that's where it gets complicated, isn't it? Because you're right, everyone has thought that, but most people that, like, inverted commas, are 9 to 5 jobs. So and now they've discovered I want to do 2 days at the office, 3 days at home, or I want to. Whereas for a chef,
they're living the absolute fucking dream.
Yeah. So
we can't work from
how can chefs?
I wish I could. Well, do you know what? I actually can at the moment. Which is quite weird.
But yeah, chefs can't do that. So how? I mean,
that's why I think there was a lot of chefs, younger chefs, chef to party level, sous chef, maybe a lot of them just leaving the trade because they'd experienced all this time off and they'd seen their partners and their family like getting their 9 to 5, getting even better by not even doing the rat race in the day.
But in all fairness, mate, can you blame them?
No, I can't.
In some form,
I think we're all angry because we're jealous.
In some form, can you actually blame them? Though?
No,
because I genuinely think it's a good thing for our industry.
Yeah,
why is that?
Because it was
forces change.
It was already on the change. It was already on a positive change. The hours, Paul, I'm sure you did the same as me, right? I remember doing 90-hour weeks, mate.
Yeah.
Killed me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I used to buzz off it.
Yeah. Well, that was the only thing that got you through, right? The adrenaline.
I used to get a real adrenaline kick out of it.
And there was
the more hours I worked, the more cool I felt.
You did. You bragged.
I was obviously fucked and tired.
Sure, but that's really the soldier going to war mentality.
It was kind of kitchens are like that, right?
And it was the only way to achieve. There wasn't another option. It was that or nothing, and you didn't even consider anything else.
You either got involved into it fully, or you weren't involved.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't make it.
Fully invest.
That sounds awful, but I do genuinely think that has to change.
Yeah.
So
and you're right, because on this podcast before COVID was a thing, it'd been brought up about you were talking about you didn't want to do the Sundays. People in the industry were, it was all starting to change already.
Yeah, it was,
wasn't it?
I think slowly, but COVID kick-started everything, didn't it? It really, ramped it up probably a few years ahead of time, because it needed to, because everyone was leaving. Like with us, when we opened, we were Wednesday to Sunday. We didn't do Sunday night. I'd always wanted to close Sunday night. Procrastinated over it, and now we do. Now we're closed Sundays. We have 4 days and 3 days off, and it just helps keep the team, because you've got to compete with other people now. I'm trying to think now, what else can I do to try and retain staff? Like, we take Christmas and New Year off, always have 2 weeks in the summer. Everyone gets a holiday, which we never got a holiday, did we? It was, you might get a week or two. You never took your.
I just get told I get paid for it, and I wouldn't get paid for it.
Wow. You'd never take your annual quota, would you? Or even if you did, you'd work so many days over that you'd accrued those days anyway. So it never happened. So this is one of the only jobs I've ever taken my holiday.
But I do think, if you think about, we say normal people, right?
Sure,
we're not normal people, we're animals locked in a basement. Working away
tied by chains to your kitchen.
But I get what you mean. People that work 9 to 5. Basically, they're contracted to 48 hours. I think it's actually gone down.
Less. I think it's
down,
7.5. Yeah.
Okay, so can you imagine? Well, this is what's happening now. I say, can you imagine? I still can't imagine someone saying to me, "You're actually only going to work 48 hours." I go, "Sorry, what?"
Yeah.
You're a joke.
Dream.
Right? But that's actually what's happening now to staff, and that's to chefs and front of house. And I think that's probably it's definitely what needs to happen.
Yeah, it is. There's a part of me where it's there's got to be a point where it's not sustainable. If it ever went to 37 hours, a lot of restaurants just wouldn't survive, because the cash margins are tiny, and your staff percentages say it's 30%. You've got to start employing more staff to do the same amount of people, because everyone's doing less hours. I want to reduce the hours and everyone's work-life balance. But I maybe it's just me and my old school mentality. But how can really successful 1, 2, 3-star restaurants survive with everyone doing 37 hours?
Absolutely.
I actually genuinely
worry
about that myself.
And where's the breaking point?
So is there if this goes too far, is there any potential that means that the acceleration of the food world and pushing the boundaries and getting better and better stems its flow because of the hours?
Maybe, I don't know, because I've said to you before, if you want to be good, if you want to be amazing and stand out in any industry, you have to be obsessed, and you have to go above and beyond, and you have to do more than everyone else. So that still applies to me. I'm not saying we exploit people and work people too much, but there's a lot that's got to come from you. Yeah, if you want to be the best, you've still got to do that. You've still got to put extra in. You've still got to learn. You can't. I just can't see many incredible chefs in 20 years' time that have only worked 37 hours, because they'll go and open up their own restaurant. They'll be like, hang on, for 20 years I've done 37 hours. I own my own restaurant now. Now I've got to do 100.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I genuinely am happy that I was part of that.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
that's right to say, or that genre.
Well, if I wasn't, I would never have been able to open a restaurant.
It's it's kind of like earning your stripes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Genuinely, I ran Tom Aikens for 5 years, and I think that's probably where I got my most respect from in the industry, because Tom's was a hard guy to work for, because he was a perfectionist. He's one of my best mates, he genuinely is, but he was a perfectionist. He was, and I turned this to his face. He was hard to work for, because he was, he's a very particular guy.
I bet.
And you kind of, me working there for 5 years, I left there, and it's respect, because you did that, and you kind of, you're obviously good at what you do, because you did those 5 years and whatever else, and you ran his kitchen, he trusted you. If you don't do those hours and do that time, I feel like you're not going to get that that same kind of experience.
And it's one of those things.
Does that make sense?
It does. And it's you're not told to do it necessarily, but it's also expected of you at the same time.
I wasn't told to. I genuinely loved it.
I
thrived off it.
But if you do, let's say 37, 40, 45 hours a week for 15 years of your career, you work your way up, and then you want to open your own restaurant, you can't. If you want to own your own business in a successful restaurant, you know, like me opening this place now, my hours are a lot less. But the first few years, it was horrible. Like, you know, working constantly. Even our close days, constantly working, and you have to prepare yourself for that.
You don't switch off, do you?
No, and
if you're not working, you work.
If you're not in that mind frame of doing those kind of hours, you can't just jump into it from a lifetime of not doing it, and then all of a sudden, right, I'm going to do 100 a week now.
Yeah, that's a massive adjustment for anyone to want.
Yeah.
So
there's a breaking point. There's a balance that's got to be achieved. We've got to reduce it. We've got to get a better work-life balance. But still, I'm not fully behind it just being too easy.
No, do
you know what I'm saying?
I hate to say this, and I hope you can edit this if you want out.
Always a great start.
I don't mind a bit of backlash from this. But
we won't edit it.
I do think there's that whole like soft cock element.
Wow.
Sorry to say that.
No.
Being so crude, but like there is, man. Like there's people that want an easy ride, and they basically look at the greats.
Yeah.
You know, your Gordon Ramsays, your Tom Kerridges, your Jason Athertons. I could go on and on and on, leaving no names out. But they just look at that and they think that you just get there.
Yeah, they're looking at what they're doing now.
There's a whole fucking process that you've got to go through to be that good.
Well, what's quite
and to be respected. And if you don't go through that process, then it's just a dream, and you're basically just, no offence, being a soft cock.
Absolutely. What you're describing there is very similar to what happened to celebrities, isn't it? Because for years, the only celebrities were musicians, actors, like
talented,
had a talent, and then they end up on a red carpet.
Yeah.
Whereas then reality the internet, and for chefs in like the Instagram world, you can get the fame and get that you can be on a pedestal without any of the work,
without any of the effort.
You could shortcut to it.
And people get it.
People get caught out.
I think they do, but sometimes
they get away with it.
Mate. Like I wrote about it in that book, new book that's out. Meat.
Oh no! Yeah. Very
people do really get away with it. It really pisses me
off. Dude, like big reason of doing that in the online school and this school is that there's so many. I'm not gonna say chefs because most of them aren't. Like YouTube, TikTok, fucking Instagram. Chefs in inverted commas that can't cook, and they're trying to teach people how to cook, and they can't fucking cook themselves. There's a few that are good, but we're talking about 2-3%.
Really?
And there's so many people teaching people how to cook, and they can't fucking cook. You know, but they've got this platform.
Yeah,
fair play, they're doing well.
Looks good. Can't taste it.
People follow them.
Well, this is the thing. I'm never gonna call them out.
No.
But like, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I could probably name 10 people that you go, yeah. I'm not going to do it, but we're on the same page.
Do it after.
Yeah, but we'll do it after. This is off.
When I tell you this is off. Yeah.
But and I also do think fair play to them, but you can't beat that true essence of learning your craft.
Yeah, because it is a craft.
You can't. You just can't skip that part of it.
No, I said it all the time. It's not an X factor. You can't sing and then sort of get a bit better at it. It's it takes years to learn how to cook.
But surely they
miles on the road. Yeah.
Surely they feel a bit like they feel the same way
on some level.
There's some stress. There's some stress. There's some stress on their side, but they're like, I'm winging it. I mean, we're all winging it, right? But like,
even
they're
greater
like,
imposter syndrome.
I don't know if I can wing this tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so lastly then, what going forward, like, is there like a formula? Is there a plan? Is there a template that you guys think, this will be how it probably is now?
I don't know. I think you've got to have a raw. There's a rough template, but it's changed a lot. I think it still applies if you want to be very good. If you want to, be a master of your craft, you have to dedicate yourself to your craft, whatever your craft is. Doesn't matter. Even if you want to be the best joiner and make the most beautiful furniture, you have to dedicate yourself to that and go above and beyond. You can't just clock in, clock out, and then be the best in the world and make the most beautiful things. Can you? You have to dedicate yourself to your craft, and that's where it is. You got
to sacrifice.
Yeah, I think that's still there. Whilst yes, we have to have a much better work-life balance, paid the right amount of money, and we are getting there. Treatment's got to be right. All those things have to be in place, but still. If that's what you want, you've got to put those fucking yards in.
Yeah. And you probably have more time to do it going forward outside of the kitchen, experimenting and hopefully travelling again.
People on TikTok and
learn from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn.
So Lee, tell us exactly sort of where you are at this point then, because obviously we touched on a few of those things, and you've had an unbelievable. You go through your sort of almost CV of all the places you've worked and the people you've worked with. It's insane, but then obviously the timing of COVID and then leaving Penson's, which had the star. I'm so excited to know, like, what is.
That's a weird scenario.
Where are you at?
So obviously moving to Penson's was the first time I'd ever considered moving out of London. Like I've lived in New York for a brief period, lived in Copenhagen when I was at Noma. So I've done the rounds a little bit, but this is the first place I thought in the UK, where would I live? I never thought I'd live in Worcester. I mean, fuck me. I won't go too deep on that conversation, but yeah.
Wow.
Very different.
Big up to the Worcester fans.
Yeah, big up to the Worcester fans. Love you all. Probably met you all too.
Took 3 days. Met you all. Excellent.
It was a very big culture shock for me. I think I knew. Look, the project was amazing. Like, it was a 1,200 acre piece of land. Building a restaurant in a derelict barn.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Honestly, the project, I learned so much, and I have a lot of respect for the owner. It just wasn't for me, and I learned that pretty early on when I moved there.
Yeah.
But me being me, and this is what we're just talking about then. There was no way I was going to leave without me achieving something, or without, not just saying that I achieved it and left, but without me doing my time there.
Yeah.
This person put personal money into me and personal. A lot of time and effort into me, and I was never just going to walk away. Because I'm a man of principle. Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of chefs lack these days.
Yeah. But fair enough for admitting that to everyone and to yourself as well. Because a lot of people, for their ego, shy away from the truth of why they feel like they're not in the right place at the right time, and also bail early. I think a lot of people do that. So fair play.
Oh, honestly, and to be fair, I won't go into it, but a lot of personal things happened that year, and I could have easily walked away. Right. I would have had every reason to walk away, but I didn't, because I was like, no, I've signed up for this. Yeah. I'm going to see it through. Yeah. And it wasn't like I'm going to sign up for it until I want it to start. I mean, no. My thing was I was going to do a year and a half and I'll leave.
But maybe you should have said that, because you'd be done after 7 months. It almost went too well.
Yeah, but then that would have been a bit of a fuck you to mission, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's not what I'm about. Yeah. To be fair, I never thought we'd win it that quick.
No, I know. I bet you
genuinely.
Yeah, I bet you
but we did, and it was amazing. The team, I took 2 guys that used to work for me at Typhoon with me. They were key. Sorry, 3 guys actually. Sorry, they were key. We struggled for staff like you wouldn't believe.
I could imagine out there.
It was unreal.
Yeah,
really.
Especially you used to London in the old days, where it was a bit of a revolving door, and you could pick people up back then, couldn't you? But
because we were so remote, if you didn't drive, basically I had to go pick 4 of my staff up before I had to come to work.
Wow, no way. That is mental.
And if they were late, I was late. Which meant the bread was late. Yeah. Which meant a lot of other knock-on effects. You know what I mean?
Going from cramming yourself onto a tube to picking your staff up in the countryside.
It was a whole big culture change. And do you know what? It was a massive learning curve for me. I loved it. Anyway, enough of that. So basically that happened, and I came back to London. And then COVID happened. I mean, we never even heard of word COVID before.
No, sure. So just timing.
And it was really bad timing. And then, so I just had to sort of pivot, and I started to sort of work for myself and sort of do a lot of brand collaborations and private events, and sort of using my contacts to just sort of
stay in the game.
Yeah,
do bits and bobs.
And it's actually nearly been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's called March.
To March.
I mean, that's gone
it
feels like 3 months.
Yeah.
It's mental.
It does, yeah.
Time has literally, since COVID happened, for some reason, time has just been non-existent.
Yeah. Because I still say last year is 2019.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's
God,
ridiculous.
no, we need to stop this. We'll get really sad.
Actually, it's 2021, right?
Yeah, we're nearly at 2022. We are nearly 2022.
Just making sure that's what the year is. It's proven to be pretty good for me, but I do miss the restaurant environment.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is so up in the air, man.
Is that what you want to go back? You just want to get back into
100%. Yeah, of course. It's always the dream.
And if you don't mind me asking,
before.
Are you waiting for the right opportunity to come up, or are you already looking to do?
I'm looking at sites now. There's a few other opportunities I'm involved in that I might be either consulting on or involved in, but that's sort of separate. But there's lots of exciting things happening. But mainly for me, I do just want a site where I feel like it's my second home. And I go there every day and I cook with my team. Yeah, we have the same common goal, same dream, the same values and whatever else. And then we just have fun and cook some lovely food and.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Does sound great.
But it's basically I want to feel like it's my second home.
Yeah,
you want
to settle and be happy with it. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, you actually spend more. You actually probably spend more time here than your home.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't feel at home here, then you've done something wrong.
That's a really good point.
In my opinion.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, and I think you don't really refer to it as that.
It's like it's really this whole staff crisis thing is a bit of a weird one because. When I left Penson's, I said to myself that I'm only going to hire people that I truly like. I realised that's not going to happen, is it?
It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
Sorry, do you want a job? Yeah, you've got the job. Yeah.
It was always challenging anyway. Not getting the right people. Now it's just hard getting people. We're quite fortunate in terms of I've not been affected.
I was just thinking that only the other day because I've spoken to so many of your mates.
I don't talk about it a lot. I don't want to jinx it.
You've been pretty good actually.
Yeah, so two of my guys, Laura and Gibbo, they've been here 4.5 years. They started.
Your head chef's been here 4.5 years, right?
Yeah, she has.
Wow.
Yeah, so she started with me since day one. She came with me from Mallory, and so did the other lad. And then the other girl, Christina, who works downstairs, 2 years. And then got Brett, who runs a cookery school. He's been here 2 years. And then I've just had an apprentice leave who lasted 3 months, but he had to go. Wasn't for him.
Your terms or his?
It was his, but I was glad.
Sorry,
wow.
mate.
Wow. He won't listen.
I was just thinking that. I was like, there's no way he's saying that if he thinks he'd listen to this, which he clearly won't.
I don't know.
That's why there's only way to find out. DM us right now if you're listening, bud.
Yeah, if you can manage it.
Oh dear, we've descended.
Front of house, and I've had we've been open 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in March. I've had 7 managers, and Jack's my longest serving. Jack's been here 2 years, and Jack's great. He really gets what we want to do. We just struggled with a lot of different.
Sorry, Paul.
Bad recruitment with me.
How long have you been open for? Sorry,
4.5 years. No, it'll be 5 years in March.
7 managers.
7, yeah.
Mate, I had 3 in Penson's.
Did you? In a year and a half.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Jeez.
It was relentless.
Yeah,
it was hardcore. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So I completely.
But sometimes it was I'll be honest, it was bad recruitment for me, but more desperation.
Mate, same as me.
Of course, because you've got to still open the restaurant. You can't.
I hired a guy because back to when we got the Star 2018, I'd had the invite on the Friday, so I knew we were getting it on the Monday, and I was interviewing a guy, and it was just before Christmas. I knew we were getting the Star, and I was like, I just fucking need someone.
And you're going to get bookings.
I knew he was a good waiter. Turned out to be a fucking terrible manager, and I knew he was going to be, but I just had to. I've got to get through Christmas and these first few months, and we'll deal with it then. But no, we're in a good place for that now. We've got a pretty much new front of house team.
Your staff, honestly, your staff tonight were great.
Oh, good to hear. No, really they're a good group of guys. Yeah, yeah, they are.
Bless, mate.
Yeah.
So I want to delve into Mexico a bit because as soon as you messaged me going, I met Lee in Mexico, I was like, brilliant. This is it's not every. So how did this come about? When was it? All that sort of stuff.
So this would have been 2015.
I mean, how do you? Yeah, 2015 was a busy
date stuff like
2015 was a busy year for me. I've just realised.
Yeah, okay.
The Mexican Tourist Board, they got in touch with me, and they must have been Lee as well. And they picked. It was like 7 chefs in the UK. They wanted to do like a chef exchange.
Okay.
So say me and Lee, we went over to different restaurants over there. We'd do a dinner at this chef's restaurant.
Mexico City or
all over. We went to
Monterrey, didn't we?
We were so it was over the course of the year. James Knappett did it. Peter Sanchez.
I think they went to Mexico City.
Yeah, they're all over, but randomly, ours were both in Monterrey, both in the same week, and near each other.
Yeah,
and we'd never met. So I went to this guy Alfredo's restaurant, and then he come to Mallory Court and cooked.
Wow.
And Mexican Tourist Board paid for everything. And I
took
a lad out with me.
Like kings.
Really?
Oh god,
it was amazing.
Yeah, flown out, just treated every restaurant, didn't pay for a thing.
To be fair, I've never been to Mexico. So
Nor
for
me.
me, it was like, this is fucking amazing.
And Monterrey is not touristy. It's like, it's
Beautiful.
Mexico. It's
Beautiful.
stunning. Absolutely stunning. But you wouldn't just go there on holiday.
No, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, but no, it's wicked time, and it's just crazy out there. Like, we met the chefs, and me and Lee were talking about this earlier, and we went to the restaurant, I can't remember the name, where you cooked at, on like the first night. We all went. So I had a lad, Joey, who worked for me, who come, and you took a lad out there, didn't you? The lad who had did he have a celeriac tattooed on his arse?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
He had a celeriac tattooed on
Ben,
his arse.
Ben.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He now works for Simon Rogan.
Tattooed on his arm.
Yeah, isn't it like going like, it's got a knife and fork?
I forgot, Ben, that you had this tattoo on your arm.
He showed us in the lift.
Oh my god, I actually forgot about that.
But we had this big table in this restaurant, and then all of a sudden these women come. The chefs were a lot older than us, so they were like late 40s, weren't they? Both of them. Just these women turned up. It's like, this ain't their wives, is it? And there's this thing out there, a status thing. I don't know if it's all over Mexico or not, but they just get models to come and eat with them.
What?
Yeah.
What? They just sit and eat with you? Like
and they just chat to them. They don't do, as far as I'm aware, they don't do anything physical with them or like escorty wise.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
Sure.
I weren't against it.
Well, I was married at the time, so. But they're just there.
Wow.
With them, and they're just like chaperone them, and then they go. It was
weird. It was a bit odd.
It was weird, wasn't it?
It was odd because we obviously knew they weren't their wives. And I was thinking like,
and they've got wives and families, and
I think genuinely they would probably try. This sounds weird. Try and impress us, maybe.
Probably try and impress us. Yeah,
just like
these English guys love models. We need to get.
No, just I don't know. Like I don't know. Yeah, make us look cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
we would just say, I thought this is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Wow, how weird.
But yeah, we proper treat like kings. So I let.
So did you have to cook in the restaurants every
night?
Basically
like a switch, like a little collaboration. So we went there and did like we split the taste menu basically. Did like dishes.
Like a guest chef night.
Yeah, and
really.
they came to London and did the same thing. It was really cool. Actually.
So I ate at Lee's night at the restaurant he went to, and you ate at my night, the restaurant I went to. And other nights we were just out drinking, eating.
And you could still do what you wanted. Cooking wise, you didn't have to like. You could just do what you wanted.
Do anything you wanted.
It's nice because they took us to the markets, and then like what I liked about it is that they asked me to write a menu, and I was like, I can't write a menu based on your produce. I ain't got a fucking clue what you have. Like, you got to show me.
Yeah.
And they did. To be fair to them, they did.
Oh, that's so
I remember you telling me when you were out there, you had a whole suckling pig, and it turned up like frozen solid. Because they don't really deal with fresh meat there. It's all frozen.
Wow.
Yeah.
And to defrost a whole pig is not going to be
to bone out for that night.
Luckily, I was cooking it whole. But still, it wouldn't defrost. Set that love, and I know.
So we've got a bath big enough to put this. Wow, that's amazing. Such a unique thing to do.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience, especially like it was all paid. And
were you just in like local
nice
hotel?
Just living.
It was really nice to be asked. To be fair, because that was like when I was. I mean, I'm not anyone now, but I was a nobody then. Like,
same as me. I don't even know how they got in touch. We hadn't got a star or anything like that. Just I was at Mallory Court down the road, and I think they said that like it was either Great British Menu or Saturday Kitchen or something like that. But
probably the same as me. Probably Great British Menu.
Yeah,
2015.
When you came back here, what was the feedback from your teams at your places about the chefs that they had? Do you know when you sense you ask a perfect question
or the wrong question?
Alfredo, I still speak to him a bit now. Like he messages me now. Some of his food's fantastic, and he did some really nice stuff. But
some of it,
there was things that was lost in translation, and like so, I'd given all the orders. I'd get all the orders, and I'd given everything. Like me and my sous chef ordered everything he wanted, but he'd translated it himself from Spanish to English,
right?
And like he did. I didn't know what his dishes were, but he did a dolce de leche, but he ordered goat's cheese with me, not goat's milk. And so he didn't say anything, he just made this dolce de leche with goat's cheese. You can imagine what it was like. It was
rich as fuck.
It was like licking a goat. It was like, honestly. And then I sort of thought about it, so I didn't know he was making that. it's like if I knew, I could have kind of worked it out, but these things were a bit lost in translation. We had a great time. I tried to show him a good time over here, but I was really busy working. He owned his restaurant, and this is the thing.
Yeah.
Took him for a curry. In Leamington.
It's a bit different from here to London.
There was no models.
It's a bit different from here to London, isn't it?
I love the idea. You literally were in like 5-star hotels.
I'll take him for a fucking curry.
And then on the Saturday, he was flying back. I took the night off. I actually brought him into Stratford, and we ate on what's that pub on Sheep Street? They've got loads of football screens.
Rose and
Crown. We went there. We had fish and chips. That's not. So that was his impression of fish and chips.
He's getting us small, but you're taking him to fish and chips.
And it was Six Nations were on. It was when Wales beat us in the last minute. So we were watching the rugby. They didn't understand what the fuck was going on. They were eating really shit fish and chips.
And you're going, this is England.
So this is Shakespeare Town.
Just the fact that they're hiring models to go out and you're taking them for a curry in London.
I did what I could. They can give me any budget to take them out.
To be fair, I was so busy I couldn't even take the chef out. I was like, I'm so fucking short staffed, mate. You can't take him out. So at least yours got an Indian fish and chips, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mine got fuck all.
Oh, did he? Bless him. Yeah. So what did he? Yeah, did he just? Was he just hanging out and around?
Well, he just said he was. I helped him with restaurant reservations, of course, but I genuinely didn't have the time to take him out. Honestly,
that's what I was short.
I was so tired. I was knackered.
Couldn't take much time.
No, I felt really bad actually because they actually spent a lot of time with us.
Yeah,
I genuinely felt really bad. I remember going back to my girlfriend and telling me I feel like a complete guy.
Yeah, because Alfredo took me and Joey out through the mountains and everything.
Yeah. Amazing. And they basically weren't working, were they?
No, exactly. They didn't work and operate their restaurants that much.
No.
Whereas we were fucking on the stove. I was on the meat and fish.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second day he took us out. We went out drinking all day. We went to all these different restaurants, these cantinas, trying all these amazing things.
I feel like they got the shit end of the deal.
You come over here in fucking autumn. You've had curry.
Especially you take them to the fucking Indian.
It wasn't a bad Indian. It was just a fish and chips. He was probably expecting a newspaper by the sea.
Oh yeah.
He's had it in a shitty pub in Stratford in front of the rugby.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, what a waste of time.
Really loud, loads of Welsh fans. So I couldn't even and we couldn't communicate great anyway.
Exactly.
Then trying to tell them the rules of rugby, and I was fuck it,
See, that would have made more sense if the models were translators.
Yeah.
But they fucking weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, but he took us once. This day he just took us everywhere, and he showed us this club that was being reopened and had all holes in the wall. And he was like, that was a few years ago. The cartel just come and just machine gun the whole place. What? Glory hole. They had a great time. I was going to say, yeah. Weird. They were all bullet holes from the cartel, shooting this place up.
Wow.
Fuck, where have you brought us?
Yeah. No, so you got a lovely deal then. I mean, there's no holes as far as I'm aware in the lovely.
No, there's no shooting in Stratford, is there?
Oh mate, I love it. It's so good.
I did feel guilty, but what else could I do? I was really short for time.
I honestly love that. I love that you still keep in contact. That's proper
he messages. He's closed that restaurant now. He's got a restaurant by the ocean. It looks incredible, just on the sea.
I think you should do the exchange again now. I think we should do this again now.
Yeah, where am I going to take him now then?
Just back
Chinese.
Pretty much your only option, isn't it?
Yeah, Chinese buffet. The Wing Bar in Coventry.
Oh, mate, I love it. Okay, right. Let's do some listener questions, shall we? Got loads of great ones as always from everyone. We got one here from Nick. Short and sweet, but I love it. He says, "What's the best pie you've ever had?" Can you recall this, or is there one you've been in a restaurant?
Mine was actually a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I'm not actually a massive fan of pies.
Oh, interesting. Why is that? What is it? Just a nut pastry?
I love pastry.
Yeah, interesting.
One of my favourite foods is an amazing pork pie.
No, but this kind of changed my perspective a bit. So
really?
I'm not even. It's not an ad here or me promoting someone. It's like Willie's Pies. Honestly, we just share a space that we work together.
Yeah.
So that's only how I know these guys.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know him well, but he was like, sorry, these guys were kind of like trying to perfect their new pie. So I was just like chief taster. That's fucking great. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what was it? What was the?
I can't remember it was chicken. It was like this spicy chicken number. But honestly, and I tried their red wine and like their venison red wine one. It was, and all of them were just banging. Right?
Oh, nice.
And now they've just opened their new shop and they're just killing it. But
and what's the key to the pastry then? If you're not a big pastry fan, for the pie to be good, is it just
not too much pastry? Not soggy.
Yeah.
Like
and soggy bottom.
Do you know what they've just nailed it? Like, and I haven't had pies that have bought that, because you buy these pies and cook it, recook them at home.
So like raw pastry.
So it's raw pastry, cooked middle, cooked filling. Bake it at home. So you got to egg wash it yourself.
Yeah.
Comes in a lovely box, and then you bake it in the oven, and they just nailed it. Because normally I just go for pies. It's either not enough filling, too much pastry, wet, soggy. There's so many variants that go wrong.
Sure.
Or people do the old, it's a casserole and they stick a puff pastry lid on it.
It's not a
fucking pie.
If I'm going to a pub I'm not familiar with and I see the pie and like the look of it, I'll ask them before I order.
Not a pie.
Is this a casserole with a lid? And I'm not going near it. If it is. No chance.
It's true.
Yeah. Like obviously he gets loads of press for it anyway because he's good at it, but my favourite pie in London is Callum's curried mutton pie. Callum's
Franklin.
Yeah.
I
always send everyone for that.
Weekend had that exact
curried mutton.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. A little mango chutney and the curry sauce. It is fucking
banging.
Sounds amazing.
Can't go wrong with one of Callum's, but yeah.
Does he cook all of his fillings first? Does it change by like what's the general rule for the best pies? Are you cooking fillings first?
It depends. But if it's one like that, a braised good, you'd always do the braised good and then in the pastry and then bake the pie. Generally, but he does like the most amazing like Petivier pies, everything where
he annoys me. I mean, I love
because it's so good.
I love you, Callum. You piss me off because you're like too good.
Yeah.
Like you literally, I look at your stuff and I'm like, prick.
Exhausted.
But I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like it's me just being envious.
I can empathise with that sometimes.
It's like how do you fucking do that?
I can't do that.
I suppose it's quite a winning formula in a way in terms of like he's really gone after one thing and done that one. I mean, he does loads of other stuff well, I'm sure, but it's like. They've
marketed it really well.
Very clever.
Doing
very
I'm
clever.
going to be the pie king.
But he's also become the absolute god at it.
Yes. Yeah. And all variants. It's not like he's done one thing. He's on croûtes, his Petiviers, his normal pies, his beef Wellingtons. Anything savoury pastry.
He cuts his what's the thing on top? The lattice. Is it lattice?
Oh yeah.
By hand.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the
also like the perfect way
it's like and I'm like, there's no fucking way you've done that by hand. or you've taught your staff to do that by hand. There's no way.
It's mental. And
honestly, fair play to Callum. That's all I say.
How do you normally do them? Do you cut them out in a certain way and then you do that?
There was a lattice cutter, it's a roller. They never go through there. You still have to like finish them, don't you? And then you pull it all apart.
Yeah, you pull it
apart. I use a lattice cutter and mine don't look as good as this.
This guy's doing it by hand.
Yeah.
That is insane.
With rulers, like...
It's insane.
Wow, that is next level. You can go back and it makes me feel like we should have him back on because it's too long. He was episode 1 of series 1. So he was our first ever guest.
First ever when this was nothing.
This was a shithole up here.
This was just a living room. This was.
Was it your living room?
No, it was just a living room some staff had, and staff used to sit in here and that.
The dodgy casting couch.
It was horrible. I had a casting couch. Yeah.
Oh, so he came up and he was like, "What is this?" We were like, honestly, we're just recording a podcast.
Dingy lights.
It's improved, Callum. It's improved.
Yeah. Okay, next question here. We've got one from Ross. He tweeted us saying he saw a video / recipe doing the rounds the other day, saying that the juiciest chicken should be brought up to room temperature before being cooked. He says, I've always done this with steaks, but never chickens. What are your thoughts? And also, what other proteins would you ever do this with? It's a great question, because I've known that.
This is actually a really good question. I've got a story about this, actually. So I'll say the competition, but I won't say the judge.
Okay.
I was a judge of National Chef of the Year for quite a few years.
You judged it once when I did it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. And...
I fucked it up royally. Yeah.
Oh no, there's
no, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got to say, right, I won't say who it was, but for me, the answer to your question is always temper your meat or fish.
All meat.
Temper.
All of them.
Sorry, temper means to bring it up to room temperature. For anyone that doesn't know that, because if you don't do that, you basically, if you put anything into an oven, if it's cold in the middle, it's just going to be raw.
Yeah, it doesn't cook
evenly. It needs
evenly.
to be room temperature, so it's the whole thing is the same temperature.
Yeah.
That's just quite common sense.
Yeah,
right?
if I'm roasting a chicken at home, it sits out an hour before I cook it.
But fish too, though.
Wow.
Fish as well. Any meat or fish.
Everyone thinks it's just
sausages,
meat.
anything.
This has
They'll
actually
sit
blown
out.
my mind. I'm glad we brought this up because I had no idea about this.
If you've got a piece
Any
of
meat.
cod at home to cook, get it out. Get it out for an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Like people worry, especially with chicken, and he's asked this question about chicken because I think people worry about it.
Yeah.
But just stay at the stage. Like, it doesn't matter if you let it sit out for an hour, as long as you're cooking it properly. Like, there's different. If it's old chicken, you let it sit out for a couple of hours and then undercook it. You're fucked.
I got another story about that one.
Go on.
Go on, then.
Well, when I lived in Hong Kong, make sure I get back to this other story.
All right.
Story upon story.
But this one's funny.
Yeah.
I lived in Hong Kong and we ran out of chicken one day, and then I said to my aunt, we couldn't get a second order in Hong Kong. We weren't a thing. So I was like, mate, he was like local. I was like, where can I get some chicken from? He was like, chef, I got it covered, don't worry.
Oh my god.
Cool.
Meow.
That's another story. Anyway, so we come back, slop down this chicken, and I was like, why is it warm? And he was like, well, it was just killed, chef. I was like, oh my god. I was like, you're fucking joking. I was like, take me to this place, I want to see it. And he was like, no, I don't think you do, chef. And I was like, no, you take me, I want to see it. Honestly, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. There were chickens upon chickens upon chickens upon chickens in this little fucking...
Oh my god.
Sort of like den. And you basically go... And they just... Oh, mate. I was like, I can't...
No
I'm
way.
not serving.
Where? Like in the city, but just what? Just in like a big
literally,
old...
it's a place called Wan Chai in the city of the city.
Yeah.
In the belly of the city.
Oh god.
They're just covered in their own shit. And
Did you
everything.
use the chicken?
Oh, honestly, so that story then goes on to me. I didn't use the chicken though.
Yeah, fair play.
I took off the menu.
Yeah, fair play.
86'd it, mate. There was another story when I went on a date with a girl in Hong Kong, and she told me a story where she went to buy a dog, and I don't even have to tell you the rest, right? She picked a dog, and you can only imagine what the outcome was, right?
God, no way.
Honestly,
That's
it's a
horrendous.
whole nother.
Fuck.
My mind was like, fucking blown.
Yeah,
I was
can't get your head
that
around
shit
it.
Can't happen.
No.
But it does.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
mental.
Yeah.
But bring
Anyway,
all
back to the question that you asked me. I went on a bit of a tangent there.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, I won't mention the judge. The judge, basically, really well-known female chef, was tempering a piece of mackerel before she grilled it.
Yeah.
And
Just really quick side note: when you say tempering it as well, do you like keep it in packaging?
no,
or leave it out?
actually you want to dry it out.
Yeah.
Especially for
okay.
barbecuing it.
If you're gonna roast
well, really,
it,
if you
yeah.
want to get rid of that moisture,
Yeah.
so you want to air dry it. You think about air dried meat.
Yeah,
It's been
cool.
aired,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Same process, right?
Yeah, of course.
Quickly.
So it sounds like it's mental that I'm this age of my life, but
That's why I
it
hate
makes
fat packed meats.
it's
Yeah.
perfect sense.
The best way to think about it is it's as important as resting it. That's it.
Got you.
So
Got you.
you're cooking in the middle, you've got
100%.
tempering resting either side.
Nice.
All meat, all fish.
So then we've all got these sheets that we're filling out, right? And I heard, I'm not going to say it was, very well known chef. I think it was like, she's got a fish out way too early. I was like, what? And he's like a veteran.
It's a 2-hour competition. It's not going to go off.
He's like, I shouldn't be questioning his judgment.
Yeah, of course.
But I can't help. I'm like, sorry, what? And he's like, I watched him give a really shit mark.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I'm going to overcompensate that mark then. Like, because
Wow.
that's bollocks.
Yeah.
Wow.
In my opinion, that's really out of order. Because
Yeah.
I would teach, if my chef didn't, when I called him to check on for a table, if they didn't get that fish out of the fridge straight away then, they'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Got you.
Because it'd be like, that's the way I taught them.
Yeah.
So I just found that mental, and I actually asked him, I was like, do you genuinely not temper your meat or fish? He was like, no. I was like,
Wow.
you're wrong.
Wow. Oh,
that's,
who was it?
that's mad. No, I'm never going to say it.
Okay.
Oh, you'll tell me later.
That's incredible. Wow. I wonder if he went back and started from that day. Learn
No,
the
but
judging.
he was like really, and he's a legend.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
That is mind blowing. Yeah, that level.
mad.
Fucking
That's
hell.
mad.
Great. Well, I'm so glad. Thanks, Ross, for that one, because it's blown my mind. So I'm glad to hear it. Okay, let's do boiling point, shall we? I love this. This is where our chefs tell us of the real heat of the kitchen through their years. So I want stories of when you've lost your shit on someone or they've lost their shit on you. Who wants to go first? Any?
Yeah, I'll go first. Paul.
Yeah. Cool. This is today, actually.
What?
With a customer.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
A right knob. We at the moment, everything's going a bit crazy again with COVID, and people cancelling for no good reason, really, just because they're shitting themselves and whatever. And if people give us notice, fair enough. But this guy, he emailed us, it was like 9:30 or something, for his table at 1:30.
So 4 hours notice, basically.
Yeah, which is nothing. And we've lost a lot of tables anyway, so we've got no chance of reselling it. So he said that like absolutely no symptoms, like for this party free, no symptoms at all, but they decided to take a lateral flow test. One of them was positive, so they did 2 more tests and they were negative, and then they're not coming. So, okay. But emailed about, hope you're okay, like, as you do, just to appear nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't sound like you give a shit.
You're fucking livid.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, just don't test me, don't know. And I said, unfortunately, we'll have to apply the cancellation fee. We're not going to be able to resell the table now. So applied for, and it's only £35 per head. It's £105 for a table of 3. You can't spend that little here for lunch. Like the minimum spend for lunch is £48 if you have the smallest menu and then drinks on top. So you can't spend £35. So you've saved him money.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. You can look at it that way, Paul. Yeah.
They don't like it when you say that. So and then he's emailed me straight back with his demands. Call me immediately on this number. And I'm busy. Fuck off. Like that gets you to the bottom of the queue of my priorities when you start throwing demands at me and being aggressive. Call me, yeah. So I just emailed back really polite. Look, really sorry, I'm very busy. I'll call you. At some point today. It might have to be after lunch because I'm getting ready. We need to sort this out now. It's a very pressing issue. Self-entitled prick, basically. His issue is more important than anything I had going on in my day. And then I explained, as I said, I'm busy. I'll call you when I'm available. And then he's like, you've got the time to email me back. Why don't you just call me? So then I just didn't reply. Left it a bit, and then he was like, I demand you call me at 11.
I would have called him and just hung up when he answered.
Called you, didn't I?
Just kept doing it.
And he's like, I demand you call me by 11 because if I'm going to send somebody else, then I need an hour and a half to sort this out for my table. So I just said, send someone else, that's fine, I'll refund you the money. And we won't charge. If you send someone else, I will. And then, so it gets to 11:45, so I thought I'd phoned him. And he was like, how dare you make me come to your restaurant when we've got COVID? So I said, well, one, we don't know if you have. 2, I'm not making you do anything. I'm just telling you I'm going to charge you. And then he's like, well, it was his wife or something that had tested. And he's like, well, if I come with other people, then will you charge me? Well, no, if you come, of course I'm not going to fucking charge you. I didn't swear at him at that point. But yeah, it's like, well, of course I'm not going to charge you. And he's like, well, what I'm going to do then, I'm going to announce in your restaurant to every single guest that I have a COVID victim who's infected at my home and I might be infected. Because if you dare do that, I'll kick you out myself. You will not be in this restaurant. Well, I have to protect the public. I was like, stop with your virtue signalling hero bullshit.
What the hell is going on
Who
here?
do you think you are?
Please tell me he's downstairs now. I'll go and tell him myself.
It's like all my staff can hear me having this conversation. And I was like, what? Are you serious? He said, there's someone infected my house, I'm not allowed in the restaurant. I was like, well, no, we follow the laws here, and if she's got COVID and you're double vaccinated, you've admitted that your lateral flow is negative. You can come.
Yeah.
And it's your decision. I'm not forcing you to. But if you don't, I'm going to charge you. Well, you already have charged me, and that was a bit cheeky. As well, I already have, yeah, but it's not cheeky, is it?
No, on the day.
Yeah, I can always refund it.
It's a cancellation.
Cancellation, you agreed to it, you booked 2 months ago.
Well, reasonable.
And I was even being reasonable then, which isn't that like me, really.
No,
I was like, look,
surprised,
we've got a front room in the restaurant. We've lost a few tables today anyway, so I can put you in the front room and nobody else will be there. You'll only maybe cross paths with someone if you go to the bathroom. So, well, if I do cross paths with someone, I will be telling them. I was like, no, you won't be coming. I said, I tell you what, I don't like you, right? I don't want you here. You're not welcome at a restaurant. You're blacklisted. I'm going to give you your money back.
Oh,
I'm going to blacklist your email. Don't ever set foot in this restaurant again. You're disgusting. And then put the phone down.
Wow.
So I don't want, like,
Did you charge
threatening me with
No,
that.
you refunded.
I've not refunded them yet, no.
I still would have charged them.
Yeah. Well, I've got the money.
Just to stick the knife in.
Yeah. It was,
just to finish him off, yeah.
But just what
It's
a prick. Like that
infuriating.
self-importance of his issue was more pressing than anyone else's in the country. Like, everyone's going through this shit.
Yeah, but you wanted to be a martyr as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You wanted to make you look stupid and him be the hero.
Makes him
Yeah,
feel
he's like,
good.
I will tell
he's
the
the one
guest
being
you've
a twat.
made me come.
Yeah.
So you'll make yourself look like an idiot.
100%. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. Never in the story.
Yeah, but I was like, nah, just don't come.
Yeah.
You're not welcome. Oh, mate.
Just
How long you got? How long you got? No, we've turfed a few out here, haven't we?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stories.
I had to type
Is that how you come up with the stories? You just go through your blacklist, go, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember Tracy, I'll do that one.
At Typing, I had to kick 2 people out for having sex.
What?
Yeah.
You just dropped that in there.
There was
In the restaurant?
2 sitting opposite each other. She decided they were drunk. I mean,
It's a small restaurant.
She decided to get on his lap, and it was to the point where like my chef was like, Lee. At first I was like laughing about it.
No.
I was like, look at them two getting cozy. And it's like, no, Lee. I think. I was like, oh fuck.
No way.
So like, my manager was, she was a woman, obviously, and I was never going to ask her to go and deal with the situation. So I was like, this is now come to me. I'm going to have to deal with this. So I had to go, like, excuse me.
Excuse me. Hello.
So, did he have like trousers down or out the fly?
Bit of both, mate.
Bit of both. Oh, bit of both. Okay.
Bit
all
of
right.
both.
Just sat at the
And
table.
I assume she had a skirt.
Proper shagging.
Proper shagging.
Proper shagging.
That's
like,
fucking crazy.
well in there. That's what I'm going to say. Like,
Wow.
and it was like, excuse me, can you go to the bar and do that instead? I'm just going to go, why the fuck you send them here? It ain't my fucking problem.
That is
I've
insane.
I've been in some states, but I've never been that drunk. That.
They were just really horny fuckers. I think.
Yeah. Imagine there was other guests around as well.
No, it was to that point at the end of the night.
Oh, when it's like
The
drinks.
it was an open kitchen.
Yeah, it
So
was.
our spot's still there. And if they think that there was a blank screen there that covered us, there wasn't.
My
we
God.
could see it all. But
That is
Wow.
insane. Wow. Well,
that's
great story.
the
If you'd
weirdest one
like
I've
to
got.
indulge us in another boiling point, you
boiling
can. But,
point,
I mean,
yeah.
that's good enough for me if you want to end it there.
I can't really think of one actually right
That's
now.
fine.
To be honest, there's probably loads.
You must have hundreds.
I'll take sex in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because that is so unique. It's incredible.
Let's run with that one.
Okay, nice one. Before we head off, any cooking hacks, myths, or cowboy stories? These are some of the things that we picked up through the podcast series. Cowboy stories. Any cowboy stories?
No, Cowboy.
Yeah, so-
I've got shitloads of those.
Go on,
So
drop
we
to
think like,
Cowboy. I've run out, I
hacks,
think.
hacks that aren't hacks, they're shortcuts. People are just like, they're cutting corners to save time.
Yeah,
They've lost the pride. These are the cowboys that we want to wean out of this industry, and there's a lot out there.
I've caught when I was working at Galvin at Windows years ago. We used to have this fibre rod serene on. We used to have to vein each lobe, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
When the chefs were in this shit, they wouldn't bother.
Oh, really?
They would just basically butterfly it, make it look like it was the vein, and cook them. And then when you cut the tree,
Cut through, you've got all those fucking veins.
I'm like, what's this? And I'm like,
He looks disgusted as well.
Did you vein it? Yes, chef. I'm like, well, you didn't.
Oh no!
It's really clear that you didn't.
Fuck! Is that a painful job?
It's a laborious job, especially.
It's a really difficult job, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a
You're
very
pulling
skilled-
veins out of a product that's melting.
There's 2 layers
gradually
to each
gets
loaf,
soft.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's the more you touch it, the more soft it goes, the more harder it is to deal with.
And you don't want to damage it too much because if you're building it like a tree and you want to keep its shape.
It is a difficult job. I get it, but they're in their head. They just went, "Fuck it, you won't know."
Slice.
Well,
That's true.
I definitely
And
will
it-
know.
It's so clear. It's like
yeah.
big bloody vein going through some creamy brown foie gras.
Yeah,
That is true, cowboy.
Yeah.
Hate to say it. Any cooking hacks or myths?
A little
to help us
little
out?
hack. Like I always seem to tell people this when I'm see them cooking in their home. And if they're following a recipe and say it says 200 ml of water or 200 ml of milk, and they've got them measured.
What, like a pot?
Like that.
Yeah. Hovering.
Just weigh it.
Hovering.
Weigh it. Don't. You can never be that accurate in the light.
No.
Is that like, weigh it? It's exactly the fucking same.
People don't know this. I've learned this.
200 gram of water. 200 ml.
I'm going to throw this out there, right?
Yeah.
Because I do the same as you. But does double cream weigh the same as milk?
No, because it's denser, isn't it?
What
It's more viscous.
What do you mean by weigh the same?
Well, if I say to you 200 ml of cream, and I say to you 200 grams of cream,
they'd be different.
Yeah, exactly. So
what?
So then you're wrong.
That's why. Well, no. Milk and water the same. Like, because as far as I'm aware, like that decimal system was based around water. So a gram of water is a milliliter of water. Milk is pretty much the same. Cream not. And that's any recipes I write. For anything, for a magazine or book or anything, grams. I'll always do grams. I will never ever write mils of anything. Everything is grams.
Got ya.
Whether it's cream or whether, because that's where the difficult
how does cream
anything that's fluid as water, weigh it.
Right.
Oh, listen, I fully agree. It's just cream that gets.
But people don't know. Yeah, cream.
If you pick up
the
same size bottle of milk and cream, cream's heavier.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah, it's denser. It's more viscous.
Yeah. But I guess that would affect recipes because of its density, and that's what you're measuring it on. Because what I'm thinking is, if it's a quantity thing, it's not about how much it weighs. If you need 200 ml of cream, wait a minute.
I don't know because I never. It's difficult for me to say because I never ever measure cream. I weigh it.
Yeah.
Every recipe I've got is weighed.
I really want.
We don't even have measuring jugs downstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah,
we ain't got any.
Same as me. I wouldn't know, but I've always thought about it like.
Regardless, that's a great point because I think loads of people don't realise that grams and millilitres are the same.
When it's water,
or
when it's liquid as water.
When I nick recipes off BBC Good Food, and it says 200 ml of cream, I have to work out what that is in weight. It's really annoying.
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
If you could just BBC Good Food, if you could just weigh it in grams instead of millimetres,
that would be really handy because it is pointless. Because you got to weigh everything else. So weigh the cream. Like, why are they writing recipes where you've got to measure it, not weigh it?
Also teaspoons.
Yeah. So when you get a great recipe that's American, everything's cups and spoons and
cups. The cups is annoying.
Cups.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah,
you try and do a converter, but a cup of flour is different to a cup of sugar, isn't it, weight-wise?
I don't know about you guys, but if I find a recipe and I really like the look of it, I will happily just click X on it as soon as I see cups come up 3 times.
Yeah.
If I see cups just occur, it's like, it looked great, but fuck it, I'm not translating any of this. I literally dob it off. It says here, 200 ml of heavy cream is the same as 203 grams of cream.
It's actually
pretty close then.
It's pretty much the same. So it's only a bit.
I find that.
It must be the volume. So
a
carton, you'd feel it, wouldn't you? But at that level.
Well, maybe it's in my head.
Maybe
I'm completely.
We need to blind weigh it.
It's going to be a difference, but it doesn't seem like that much.
Oh, mate, I love this though. That's a great one, Paul.
Because people spend ages and they're like this, aren't they?
I know.
Is that level? Just weigh it and you're exact.
I've definitely done that. And you're not even resting it on a surface, so it's in your hands. So it's slightly wobbly. Like, it's not even quite.
When I'm doing my pot noodle, though, I do make sure it's 200 ml.
No, when I do super noodles, I weigh it. And even at home,
super noodles is my hungover food, man.
Is it?
Not even a joke.
Hey,
listen.
Have you tried putting it in a sandwich?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I lived on when I worked at Sats.
You did.
Yeah, super noodle sandwiches.
Sav,
loads of butter.
You need to have a word with yourself. That's what you start for eating.
That's when I get home at night. And you never do a sandwich like 2 slices of bread. It's a fold over sandwich.
Oh, mate, that is rank.
Doesn't leak.
Yeah, I've had one for a while.
Because my super noodles are quite like liquidy. Because I
always go over. Thick and gooey. I like them.
No, I like them over.
Loads of butter so it dribbles down your chin.
I want it to be like a broth with noodles. That's what I want.
No, thick, like disgusting.
You put it in a sandwich.
Yeah, like you should never ever serve noodles.
You've got to find a way to integrate like a posh super noodle sandwich onto your dish. Like use some sort of clever spin on a super noodle sandwich.
Yeah, I think there's no
challenge
option
accepted.
Maybe use an attacker or something.
Yeah.
Did you ask about myths earlier?
Yeah, so myths or hacks. So there's quite a few myths in the kitchen.
There's a myth for me.
Go on.
Oil in water for pasta.
Oh yeah.
Right, it's a
favourite.
It's completely
People still say it, don't they?
People still say it.
Right, listen.
I've seen it on TV.
It's so simple. Right, if you get a puddle of water in the road, or roadworks are happening, there's a big pot of water, oil spill. Where does that oil go?
On top.
Right, it doesn't
Great analogy.
integrate into that water.
Yeah.
Pasta's down there, your oil's on top.
Basically, oil's just boiling away.
Wasting good oil.
Disgusting. I've got lovely rapeseed oil. It's really like just bubbling away. It's pointless.
Yeah.
And then pasta comes out. All that oil goes down the drain with the water.
Yeah.
Right?
So true, yeah. Waste.
Just
absolute waste.
Leave it out. Put your salt in, obviously. Cook your pasta. Don't rinse it.
Yeah, never rinse it.
Don't rinse it.
Never.
Leave
My
it
mum
to
taught me to
air dry.
rinse it when I was a kid.
And then after about a minute, get some oil in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
For me, shake
it.
And then that pasta will never stick.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's the way.
Like literally.
Just quickly on the salted boiling water thing, I always find that you need, like when you're seasoning a dish, it's very different to the salt you need for salted boiling. It feels like you need fuckloads.
Yeah, because
is that true?
It's
just me. I feel like I've done
the best
it.
way to
When I
cook.
try the pasta, it's like it tastes nothing.
The best way to cook pasta anyway is plenty of boiling water. So obviously you're seasoning the water, not the food. Yeah, that's why you feel like you need loads.
Yeah. It feels like way more than usual.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah. Every time I cook at home, I'm like, this is a lot of salt.
Yeah.
But I taste something like, oh, it needs more salt.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh no, man.
have I got a really high threshold of salt?
Yeah.
I think that must happen to most chefs. The
It must
threshold
do.
for salt goes up.
I'd cane it at home.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm
Discipline
worse.
yourself here. Cane it at home.
No, because in the restaurant, when I would always, there's a time when I actually thought that I had a high threshold of salt, and I was worried.
Oh really?
So I'd make sure that I went to every chef and was like, taste that, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Did you?
And I took a sort of medium average of what they were saying.
Okay.
I was pretty much on the ball.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So it was alright.
Wow, you probably got paranoid about it for a second.
No,
there.
I genuinely was, and I never told him that was the case. I just asked for an
okay.
opinion. Never told him why I was doing it, but turned out that I was alright.
It's like being too close to the fire, isn't it? You don't realise.
At home, I'm like fucking whacking it.
Yeah.
Left, right, and centre.
Excellent. On that note, this has been a great one. Thanks again to Gusborns for providing us with tonight's nightcap. They are looking forward to seeing you back in restaurants as soon as possible. Whilst you have some time in your hands, why not visit their website? It's gusborn.com. Find out more or place your orders today. Wherever you are, however you're listening, thanks so much for downloading. And here's to Lee for a great nightcap. It's been good fun, mate.
Thanks for
Thanks so much for coming.
Cheers, guys.
It's been an
Thank
absolute
you.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for coming.